Coach, the news came out recently, I believe it was at the beginning of the month, but that you resigned as head coach effective at the end of the school year. Just kind
Correct.
What led to this decision?
It had been weighing on me. It's a great place to work. I've been, a lot of great support here, a lot of good people. But I think ultimately for me, it was just something that my wife and I had discussed for some time. I think it was just a desire to get out of education and seek different opportunities and a different career.
Yeah, and you said this was weighing on you a little bit. How long has this kind of decision and kind of thought been weighing on you a little bit?
I think I don't know. Throughout the summer, coming into the season was something that was weighing on me. That this very well might be it. Again, you don't want to give too much thought to that and detract from the ultimate goal and the kids and the team that you had. But no matter how much I tried to fight that off and push it away, it was there and I couldn't ignore it. So I think that's kind of when I knew, throughout the summer and then throughout the season. Like I said, as much as I tried to push that aside and not think about it or not let it carry into what we were doing this season, it just kept popping up. And I think that's ultimately how I knew it was probably time to get out and seek something different.
Yeah, and what was that like going through that throughout the season? You're trying to push this out, you're trying to focus on the kids, trying to focus on the team. How hard was it trying to push those thoughts aside, even though they were kind of still bothering you throughout?
Yeah, it was there, but I think you get heavy into the season, and there's just so much going on between practice and lifting and film and so you stay busy throughout the course of the season that it's not like you have a lot of free time to just sit around and think about that type of stuff, but it certainly weighed on me, the early mornings, the late nights, and all the extra stuff that goes into it. So it wasn't that difficult, but like I said, you stay busy enough and there's so much going on, but yeah, it was there.
Yeah, and when did you come to the ultimate decision that this was going to be your last season? Was it after kind of reflecting on the season after it had ended?
Probably, before I had ultimately made that decision, probably over Thanksgiving break, kind of when I had finally decided, okay, yep, I need to, I told some people close to me that, right after the year that might be it. And I think, you get into Thanksgiving break and things kind of die down and you get away from school and practice and the whole routine. And I think, have some time to kind of declutter and come back down to earth and back to reality. And I think that's, when it kind of ultimately decided, okay, yep, this is the way I want to go.
Yeah, and knowing that these thoughts have been coming up throughout the season, were you trying to savor this season kind of more throughout the year, knowing that this was a possibility, or was it just like you said, you were so busy that you were just focused on the team and focused on each week?
Yeah, I think just focused on the team and the kids. You want to give them all that you've got, and I said that to the boys. We ask so much of them, just from a time standpoint and a work and energy and effort standpoint, and we give so much back to them. And so, it wasn't something. That I think it was just so caught up in the day-to-day and trying to build those relationships and just put together the best plan you can and focused on the kids and this season that. Yeah,
and you mentioned that this decision came kind of after the season and throughout Thanksgiving break, kind of having that time off, a little bit away from everything. Did you have a meeting with the team after to kind of go over it? Yeah,
so met with the boys that first day back from Thanksgiving break, and had a meeting with them and told them that I was very appreciative for all that they did, and the opportunity to be here has certainly been a pleasure and an honor, but just felt like it was time for me to step away and get out of education and seek a different career.
Yeah, and have you kind of thought about what kind of career and opportunities that you're looking for?
Yeah, I've had some conversations, and there's a few ideas. Nothing that I am comfortable enough to talk about yet or say yet. And it's really, it's only been 2.5-3 weeks since put this out in the open, so not in a hurry to jump in anything. I'm going to be here through May, but yeah, there's certainly some things that I feel pretty strongly about that are out there on the table.
Yeah, and how excited are you for kind of the future now? Doing something that has kind of come into your mind a little bit and being able to try something new?
I'm looking forward to it. I think there's certainly things I'm going to miss about this place and miss about the football season and people you work with and ultimately, the kids and just the camaraderie of the locker room. But you sit there and you look out there at the possibilities of just, the life and career outside of teaching and coaching, and I look forward to it, whatever it might be. I'm excited about what's next. I've spent 13 years total in education, and it's been a great run. I've loved it, and wouldn't have wanted to do anything else. I don't regret going into this career, but at the same time, it's like I've lived it, and I just am ready to seek a different career, and I'm excited about all those possibilities that are out there.
Yeah, and I believe it's been 9 years that you've been the head coach here for Colgan football. Just what comes to mind when you kind of reflect and think about your time as head coach?
There's a lot for sure. 9 years. It's not a long time, but it's certainly not an insignificant amount of time either. And I think the biggest thing is just the kids. That have been so fortunate to coach, and the coaches that I've been fortunate to work with. Just those memories of I talked about just the relationships that you build when you spend so much time together and sacrifice and put in so much work together. The camaraderie of the locker room, each team having its kind of own unique identity and its own, culture. And so I think, certainly a lot of really good memories and a lot of really good relationships built. And I think that's, something that I will always cherish and remember the most is just the ability to be a part of such a special place and a special program.
Yeah, knowing the team is losing a lot of seniors, just being able to celebrate, kind of with this senior class, knowing the guys that went on such a great run this year, had a great season. How special was it to kind of end with this season, knowing the success that you guys had?
Yeah, it's a special group for sure, and that didn't necessarily weigh into it too much. I think it was time for a lot of reasons, but yeah, to have such a special group to go out with was special to me. To go out with a great group of seniors and and a great group all the way around. There's a really, I think, strong group of juniors and sophomores that played a lot this year, and then a good group coming up as well. So to go out having the year we had and just some of the individual accomplishments that kids had and the things that we accomplished as a team was really special. And I'll certainly have very fond memories of my last year here, no doubt.
Yeah, and I know coaches don't like this question, don't like the legacy type question, but what do you want people to remember about your time here at Colgan?
It's a great question. I think if there's anything, I guess it's just that I gave it everything I had to continue to make it a special place. There's been a lot of good people that have made Colgan so special, and I hope that I was able to live up to that legacy in terms of being, someone that gave everything I had to continuing to make it a good program and a good experience for the kids, and someone that helped turn young males into ultimately men of strong character.
Yeah, and Coach, if there's one thing that you would tell the next head coach about this place, how special it is, the support that you guys have, and just what they need to know about Colgan, what would it be?
That it's a special place. There's a lot of people that care. You're going to get a ton of support, maybe sometimes more than what you bargained for, but it means well. That there's a lot of great resources and a lot of great support structures in place to help whoever that next person is be successful. And so just be authentic, be genuine, be yourself, and really lean into what makes this place special.
Yeah, and are you involved in the coaching search at all? Are you giving any input, or is that just something you want to stay with?
Nope, something I'm staying out of. Whenever that decision's made, I will be happy to help whoever that next person is, as much or as little as they want. I mean, in terms of where this is at or where that's at, or any equipment or whatever. I mean, I'm happy to help that next person with whatever questions they may have. But in terms of between now and then, no, I'm completely out of it. And and again, whoever that person is, I will support 100%. But at the same time, I'm stepping away. I'm not going to meddle or tell them that they, who they should play or what they should run or anything like that. I will support them and give them whatever support necessary. But at the end of the day, it's going to be theirs. And so I just tell them to be genuine and authentic and like I said, lean into what makes it such a special place.
And Coach, if there's one thing that you can say about the future of this program, I know it's going to be hard stepping away, not being involved, but how confident are you in the future of this program and the athletes that this program is going to have for the next couple of years, but coming up from the middle school as well?
Very confident. I think you see that in all of our sports here, really, that, I think it's about, more than just any one person, as I had mentioned. There's great support structure here. There's great resources. There's great community support. There's great families and great kids. So regardless whether it's me as the head coach or someone else, there's plenty of resources in place for whoever that is to be successful. So I'm very confident in the kids coming back and the kids coming up, and the parent support, the community support. That's all still going to be there. I have no doubt about that.
And I know this is going to be another tough one to answer, but if there's any memories, any moments that kind of stick out to you over the last 9 years as the head coach, what would it be?
Well, I think, the obvious answer goes back to the 2017 team making my first year here, actually making a run to the state championship. Had a big win in the quarterfinals on the road in a tough environment, and come back home and win a close game in the semifinals, and making a trip to state was certainly a big memory, a core memory, a special memory. Here over the last few years, I thought, and unfortunately the Rossville game ended with a loss, but just a great atmosphere, great high school game. A couple years ago, went on a deep run to the semifinal game, and then, unfortunately, there's been some sad memories. Of course, the loss of Coach Roth this year. It's going to be. It was very tough. But there's something about the way the group of guys came together and just how we all bonded over that I think will always be a core memory of this time as well. It's a very sad deal, very devastating deal, but to have a group of guys to lean on each other was special to see a group of young men respond in such a way that they did.